Joining us today on the right to mix it up is Joe Pignon. And Joe is a Republican strategist. He's also a philanthropist. I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
And on the left is Bill Farrow, Daily News reporter, 35 years. You're a Democrat in this instance, but you're a well-respected Democrat from my perspective. He works with one of the most respected political consulting companies here in New York, and they do a lot of great things for their causes. I want to thank you guys for joining us.
My pleasure.
This goes like this. I throw out a topic, McLaughlin style. I shut up to the extent I can, and you guys mix it up, okay?
There you
Cut
go.
each other off, get mad.
I did
get
cover the
even.
Golden Gloves, so I
So you
can
get
mix it up
mad,
a
you
little
get
bit.
even. At the end, we have, a fried zucchini flour or a cannoli, and we
take
pot
a shot
shots.
and bury the hat.
So, for me, we just talked about Paul Manafort. That's breaking news. There's a lot of stuff I guess we have to learn about that, but it's definitely breaking news and sad if it's true. But yesterday, Trump said, okay, it's all over, case closed, let's go on to the next things. I want to do something bipartisan. I want to work on infrastructure with the Democrats. And then all of a sudden they start talking a whole different story. And Trump's right to walk out. You walk into a meeting with somebody that disrespected you that day. Do you really want to do business with them that day?
I mean, let's be very clear. I don't think they had any interest in having a true conversation about infrastructure. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are not going to hand Donald Trump a victory on a silver platter heading into a re-election.
That's right.
So
Preach.
infrastructure is not going to happen. I mean, realistically, we should have known this was going to happen. It was Infrastructure Day, as we know. So that means for the last 2 years, anytime it's Infrastructure Day, Infrastructure Week, put on your hard hat, something crazy is getting ready to happen.
That's right.
And crazy happened indeed. And so realistically, when you have the President of the United States getting ready to walk into a meeting with you, and all of a sudden you decide you're going to take a pop shot at him
Bill's boiling over over there.
this
He's ready
is,
to
you
go.
know,
He's gonna
listen,
pop.
this guy campaigned on infrastructure. Just a month ago, he was down at the IUOE training center talking infrastructure. We got to build the city. We got to build the country. We got to rebuild our roads. It's been a long time since Dwight Eisenhower built the interstate roadways. So it needs to be addressed. Here in the Northeast, the entire Northeast corridor is at risk. I mean, this Gateway project has been punted down the road from administration to administration. And you can't say, well, because it's not like the investigation started yesterday.
Well,
I mean, this has been going on. He knew, and all of a sudden he's got a prepared placard outside moving the press conference from one side of the White House to the other side, where he's got a message saying he's under attack.
If you watch, Bill, I'm sorry, this is just my perspective. I'm a libertarian myself, okay, so I'm socially liberal.
I hear you.
I'm fiscally conservative. But if you watch, I call it Morning J.O., but the things you're saying right now are what everyone is saying on MSNBC from 6 a.m. on. It's all distraction stuff. He's there to make a deal. Did he have the signs and everything? To me, that's pretty good preparation if you go on a
The
negotiation.
signs were saying he wasn't going to make the
That's
deal.
right. That's right. He
so
was
that's
ready
not
'cause he-
preparation.
'cause-
Preparation is having a plan there to discuss and have a budget.
The plan
number.
is the investigations are over. Let's sit down and go forward. But Gerald Nadler wants to hold a empty seat meeting. This is theater.
Let's be very clear. At the end of the day, the Mueller report has been released. You can have whatever opinions you're going to have on it. Some people think that it exonerates the president. Some people think that it means that we have to have more investigations. All of that notwithstanding, the fact remains is that we're not really going to be getting any work done. If you talk to anybody on the Hill right now, when Jerry Nadler sends his people home, when the aides for Ocasio-Cortez go home, they're not actually going over what are the plans we can do to make sure healthcare is more affordable. They're not going home and staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning trying to figure out how we can actually build infrastructure. They're going home trying to figure out ways they can investigate the president further. So again, if you believe that what needs to happen, then again, that's what they should be doing. But I think that we're deluding ourselves and lying to the people if they're saying that somehow the people running government are actually doing both.
Here's the thing. We're talking about a Republican Congress that had both houses, that said when President Obama was elected, it's our job to do nothing and make sure he doesn't get reelected. That's not like trying to meet something halfway. It's working for the American people. And now the president says, well, you investigate, I'm not doing anything. He's going on strike. I didn't realize he was that supportive of labor.
Well, that's funny because the left has been on strike against Trump right down to how long he wears his tie. So you show me something on any of the other channels that says something good about Trump. One good thing.
Look, I think government's been on strike, obviously going on probably the last 4 years, certainly the last 8
Yeah.
years. So this is nothing new. I think in many ways the president has just admitted what we all know is actually happening, which is a whole lot of nothing. And so, we had people announcing to run for president earlier now than ever before. You've got people, not even waiting until 2019 rolls around saying that they're running for president. So let's be very clear. We are in the presidential sweepstakes. Nancy Pelosi is literally trying to, to ride two horses. She's trying to hold them together by the skin of her teeth because you have the far left of her quotient trying
They're
to.
going after.
They're literally
Bill,
trying to.
Bill, you're in that party, okay? You're a Democrat, and I've been saying that even though they keep rolling Nancy Pelosi out there, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is really the de facto leader because they're all following her lead.
I don't see where she is the leader. I mean, she's the one who seems to have attracted most of the attention from the
Green New
Republicans.
Deal, right?
Well, everybody
We're
was
not gonna have
talking
planes
about
anymore,
I think that's a little
metal
bit of an
buildings and
exaggeration.
gasoline.
That's a bit
That's
of
not
an
an
exaggeration.
exaggeration.
I will
That's in
say
there.
this.
But
I don't-
climate change is an issue. You can't say
The actual
that
guy who
it's
came
not-
up with climate change said that he didn't come up with climate change. The
Well,
actual guy. I don't have his name, but we'll
I
go
will
with
just
you.
say this. Whether you think that AOC is the leader or not, at the end of the day, the ideas that she proposes, the ideas that she champions are the ideas that are coming out of the mouths of every single
We
Democrat
have one
who
of
wants
our
to be
ideas
president.
right here, standing by. I want you guys, apparently, she's trying to figure out how to ban cauliflower.
Oh, I did hear that.
I don't think she was trying to ban cauliflower. She was saying
Wait,
she. Well,
We're going to play the clip, and then you tell me what you think. Okay. So we don't have the video. Okay. These are the things, guys, you guys are professionals. These are the things that happen at news shows. We just don't have it perfect yet. I'm not only a member, I'm also the president, so I take editorial reasoning comes
Well,
to me
look,
also.
no, I read the quote. I think we all read
okay,
the
good.
quote.
I thought we had a clip,
and
she
listen,
basically, really put her foot in her mouth. Again.
I really don't know what her point was on that. But when she was talking
So
about
wait,
the community
Bill
garden,
Farrell said, "I don't know what her point was."
well,
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You don't know what her point
I
is.
don't know what the cauliflower reference was. I mean, Long Island used to be the cauliflower capital of the country.
I did not know that, and that's why on
and,
Liquid Lunch you learn these amazing things. No, I'm serious. I like
I'm serious.
learning history and things.
Well, she was talking about diversity in the community gardens, right? So here you go. And I think, honestly, she ought to get out of her district and go into.
She ought to get into
needs to get into her district because
She
nobody
took her
can
about
vote.
2.5 months to
she-
even step foot or open an office in her district
if-
while she's talking about banning ice and now banning cauliflower and planes and trains
yeah.
and automobiles.
I will say this: if everything is racist, then nothing is racist, right? And if you're going to sit here and say that somehow that people in inner city communities who are trying to have community gardens, the reason that I'm interested is because of cauliflower, is absurd. The reason that people in inner city communities and urban communities don't have access to greenery is because it's expensive. And if we can't find a way to make food affordable for the people who can least afford it, that is the issue. It's not because they would rather yucca than cauliflower. It's because yucca is more affordable in their communities.
Well, the bottom line is there are community gardens all
Bill, last
throughout
word.
New York City, as you know. I mean, the largest community gardens out in Gateway National Park in Marine Park, Brooklyn.
Right.
They have the most diverse garden. You'd think you're walking through an international farm country. So
Beautiful.
Anyway.
All right, well, you learned a lot today. You learned that on Liquid Lunch, we're talking to the purple people who can sit there and have both sides, the red and the blue, mixed into one. We have a conversation, it is educated, reasoned, and we part friends. I want to thank you guys as our new friends. You're watching Liquid Lunch.